Hello friends, my name is Kailash Sharma, and in this video we will see how you can write your first VBA macro in Excel. So here I have some sample data like week 1, week 2, week 3. The data looks similar. Here you can see the columns are similar, but yeah, number of rows are different, and same way week 3. And the output that we are expecting, that each sheet that which is here week 1 2 3 should be converted into this kind of format where the header is changed and also the border is add, also the a column called average with a formula is also added, and we are expecting this in each sheet. While this can be done manually also, and there can be other ways as well, but here we are going to learn how this can be done through macro, while we will do a recording and we'll also make some changes in the recorded macro to meet our requirements. So how we will do is, we'll first record our macro and we'll perform the task manually. And what we will later do is, we will change the macro a little bit and then go to the next sheet and run the macro. So we expect the same actions which we have taken in sheet 1 will also be applicable in sheet 2, and same way sheet 3, like that. But before we do it, there are few things that we have to take care. When you are going to write or record any macro, the thing that you have to ensure is, don't select the cell like this, like clicking on something or using your keyboard up or down key. In that case, what happens is, it records the macro which gets recorded will say that you have selected D5, and it will do the same for others, right? Now how it will impact is, let's say here there is no data, right? But here there is a data. But if you said that I need to apply some formatting up to here, then it will do the same here, and it will leave some spaces, or it will not do the formatting here. Now what is the solution for it is, you should use some shortcuts, Excel shortcuts, to move around the data. So we have an article also on the same, which is Excel shortcut keys. We are going to use this, like moving to the end of the data selection. We are going to use, though we are going to use the keys, but it is in combination to control, basically. Yeah, control left, right, up, down, like that. So how it is done, for example, if I'm here, if I press control right, it will go to the very last column, right? And if I, from here, if I press control down key, it will take me to the bottom of my data, provided it doesn't have a blank. Here we don't have that scenario, so it will take you to the very bottom of your data. Now if you want to move here, what you should do is control left key. So you came here, and same way control up. So these are the keys that we are going to make use. Now what we'll do is, we'll select the cell, and that's where now we will try to start. So we'll go to view ribbon, and here there is an option you will find as macros. So there are two options, view macros. If you've already recorded something, you can see them here, but we are going to start with new, so we'll click on record macro. Yeah, you can give a name to a macro and a shortcut. For example, we will say format sheet would be a good name, format underscore sheet. No need to put underscore, and others also you can use any other combination also. And shortcut, let's say we will say control maybe T. We'll see how it works, and then click on OK. Now from here the recording is started, okay? And if I click on anything, it is going to record, okay? So I'm not going to click. Instead, as I said, we will be using the shortcuts. So very first thing that we want to do is add a average formula here. Now this is fixed because it will always be in I, as we have seen in the other sheets also. So I'm going to click for that. Here, average, right? Press enter, which will take you to the I2, and I'm going to write a formula, average, and select, close the bracket and enter. Now we need to drag it till here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'll go to H2 cell and press Control down, which should take me to the last row, and then one side right, and then I need to basically drag it. So I'm going to select Shift Control up, which will copy this, or it will select this range, and I will press Control V. Okay. So formula is added. We will see how it got recorded, but let's see the next step is we will add the header. For that, I'll click on A1 because A1, this employee name header is common across, so no problem in selecting it. I'm going to select up to column I, which is Shift Control and right key, and I'm going to change the color as well as font color. Yeah, and I'm going to use Control Shift and down key, which should take you to the last of the row, correct? And then use this border option. So we'll click on border, all borders. As per the output expectation, we want them everything to be center line. So I'm going to do a center line, as well as we need to also have a similar font. Here there is a difference in the font. I'm going to use maybe Calibri 11. Okay, that is what I wanted to do. Now I have performed all my actions and I'm going to stop the macro recording. For that, I can go to View, Macros, and stop recording. Also on the bottom side, left side, you will also see the button for stopping the macro. So I'm going to click on this, stop recording. Now let's see what got recorded. For that, we'll go to the same option. This time we are not going to record. Instead, we will view macros which we have recorded. So this was the name given, format sheet, right? And to access the code, we will click on edit. Okay, it should take me to the code which got generated. And let's try to understand this code, what this code is all about. Let me also make some space so that we can see this properly along with the sheet as well. So here, if we notice the action that we performed, first we selected I1, which is here, this cell. Then we typed something called average. Then in that average, we typed a formula. Now this formula is different than what we typed because it's a row column formula. So basically, if you see here, and if I go back to the code, here it says average D2 till H2. Now it's a relative position of a column and row. So it's basically telling R, which is no difference, but column -5 means from here go -5 columns. So that's your -5 up to column -1. So which is here. So basically it is telling wherever your cursor is, -5 columns, and from there till -1 column. So that's how you can read it if you want. So it always is a relative position. Then what we did is we selected I2 and then we copied the formula, right? And then we went to H column and press the Control down key. So this is where the down key was pressed. But here we have a problem. It said that I11 got selected, and I11 is the last row here, but it is not true always. So if you see here it should have been 16, right? If you run this code, so it will also select the same row here, right? Which is not what we want. So there is a problem here. We cannot run it. While we will try to run it and see how it performs, and then we are going to fix it. Then what it does is it says whatever is got selected, basically we are making a selection and then pasting the code or pasting the formula basically. So from here we pasted the formula, and that is what is, you can see it got pasted. After that we basically changed, it looks like we changed the color of the header, right? And then we added the border. If you see here, there is a diagonal, then left, top, bottom and right edges of the cell. The border was added. Basically this weight, thin and continuous is what it is telling. Basically the borders are added. Now if you see the cell border, there are 6 borders which are possible. 4 obviously the sides and 2 are diagonal, which is you can see diagonal down, diagonal up. Okay, after that what we did, we basically make it to the center line. So let's see if that also got recorded. Yes, so whichever was selected, it's a selection. We are not saying that has to be only from here to here. So whatever was got selected, and make it center, right? And then we change the font to Calibri 11, right? And finally we set to select A1. This is the complete code which got recorded. Here we see some discrepancy also, like for example this and this are same. Maybe it got recorded twice when we press tab. So let me get rid of it. This is not required, looks like. Now what we'll do is we are going to run this code on the second sheet, and let's see how it works. It is expected that it may not work the way we want, but we will try to modify it and then make it work. So how we'll do it, we will try to run this code. So here view, and then there is a run button. We are going to run. Okay, so most of the things it has done. The only here you notice there is a problem. It did not copy the formula up to the end. The reason it did not copy was basically, as we initially also identified, that we are selecting I11, which is like hard coded. We cannot select hard coded. We should have used shortcut, but there was no shortcut here. So I'm going to change this code a little bit. So here it says selection and down key. So basically from here we pressed basically down key in sheet 1, so it went to here, right? And then we selected this. So instead of this, I will say whatever was selected at that point of time, okay, wherever your cursor was, take the row of that. So basically here we made some selection, we press the down key, and wherever it came, take that row number. Don't take 11, instead take that row number. Okay, so how it will impact? So basically from here, if we press down, now this time it is 16, so it should say I16. That's how we expect. Now let's try to run this. Before this, I will delete this, otherwise it is going to create problems. So we are going to do it again. Maybe we can change the formatting also, but I think rest everything was working. The only thing is this average formula is not working. So we are going to see it again and see if it worked. Yes, it did work. Yes. And let's see here, if I do the same, will it work or not? View and then run, right? So one macro, and you can see it worked across. The key here that we did is we used shortcuts, Excel shortcuts here while recording it. And also it is important to understand what is the code got generated. If you perform too many tasks and it records like this, you may get confused while understanding the code. Now, what is the solution here is you can record very specific code. For example, if you see here, our average is like, you can see 2 decimal, but in week 3 you can see 3 decimals, and here also 3 decimal. Now we want to patch that, or we want to fix it, but we don't know what is the code. So what I'm going to do is I am going to record one more small macro, and I'm just going to fix this and see what code get generated and copy that code into our main code. So I will again record macro, one more record. It's a temporary, so I'm going to delete it later. So we'll record. I pressed I1 and then press shift control downside, and let's see if we can change it. No, it will not work because we have to select from here. So I'll select I2 and then here, and then yes, it got worked, right? Again, I'm going to stop it and then see what is the code that is required. Stop, again view. This was the recorded macro. I'm going to edit and see what code we got. So first is whichever got selected, we press the down key, right? Shift down key basically to select everything, and then it did not work out, right? So we select again I2 and then make that selection again, right? And then we change the number format to 2 decimal, correct? So basically only this may work for us, right? Because this was like additional code got generated. So I'm going to cut this and I'm going to paste it here. Our earlier macro which got recorded, I'm going to perform this, and maybe after that I want to select this A1 back, right? So because I don't want the cursor to be left like here and there, so we'll keep it at the A1. Now this we don't need it. Now this work is done, and let's see now if we run it what happens. Okay, view macro. Now here if we run it, it will not make sense. So let me first do it at here and let's see how it works, right? Run macro. So it worked well. However, it actually overwrited our header also, right? Now how we can fix it? Instead of investigating too much, what I'm going to do is, because we know that we copy pasted our formula and somehow when we pressed Control Shift up, it went up to the header row as well. Now that is not what we wanted, right? Because of this shortcut, it has gone little up. Now instead of fixing it, what we can do is we can overwrite our header back after we paste the formula. That is also one way to fix it, right? So we are going to do that. So where is our code where we have fixed it? So here if you see here, we have added the header here, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it after we pasted our formula. So here you see the formula was pasted. So here we made a copy of the formula. We press up key, shift up key, and then pasted it. After that I'm going to overwrite the header, but it says active cell. Now I don't know what will be selected. Most probably it will be your cursor would be at the end. So I'm going to say that I am looking forward only for this, right? Or I can copy this entire thing as well, right? Where first it will select I1 and then it will add the header. So let me do that. I think that is the better way. So I'm going to paste it. So after pasting the formula, it is going to click on I1 and update the header. Let's try to run it again. View macros, run, Okay, so it worked well, and this time it has fixed my formatting issue here, as well as it has kept the header as well. And let's do it in sheet 3 also. Hopefully this should work well, right? So view macro, run, correct? So this way we are able to produce the expected output that we were seeing across the sheets. Now here we had only 3. What if we have got hundreds the sheets? You can certainly save time by using this kind of macro. So what we have done is we have recorded the macro, we have changed it little bit for our need, we have tried to merge some actions, and then finally we got what we wanted, right? There was also a shortcut, Control T. Let's see if that works. Control T, yes. So the shortcut also worked. If you notice, it did blink it here and there. So it did work, right? So you can use shortcuts instead of directly going here and clicking on again and again. You just go to the sheet and then Control T. It worked, right? So that's all in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching this.